Hey everybody, Jeff here with a live show. Back again. It's been longer than what it usually is, but we didn't do a show last weekend because scheduling just did not want to work out. But here we are, and today I'm joined by Steve, aka Rabidhammer,
Yeah, hello, what's up, everybody?
and Tony, aka DarthPhoenix619.
Hello, everybody. You don't get to see my lovely mug today. Sorry about that, guys.
Alright. Well, so here we are once again, and I thought that we'd start it all on an X-Men note, since I know we're all big X-Men fans here.
Yes, yes.
So, it was recently announced that X-Men Days of Future Past will be getting a extended cut that's been nicknamed the Rogue Cut, since there's going to be 10 plus minutes of footage, because originally, in case you guys out there didn't know, Rogue was going to have like an entire prison break scene like devoted to her, and it was going to be this big thing, and they even released had pre-release promotional material with her on it. And in the final theatrical version, she ended up being in there for 10 seconds?
Yeah, towards the end of the film.
Yeah, like literally the last 10 seconds of the movie is right.
Yep.
Yeah, so extended cut with more Rogue. So what do you guys think about it?
Well, Rogue is my favorite, my second favorite X-Men character, and I mean, Adam Patinkin's done for the most part a good job with the character. I mean, it's not the Rogue we see in the comic books, but I'm excited about it. I am excited that they are doing this Rogue cut. Get to see her, get to see that prison break scene, hopefully, and then whatever else they can throw at us. It's a great film, so I'm looking forward to it. But it's being released next year. I think in the summertime or something like that.
Yeah.
And we're getting it's going to be a while. And we're getting Days of Future Past on Blu-ray. I think it's next month. So it's going to be a good 9 months or so before we get this Rogue cut. So it's kind of in my eyes, just a way to get more money out of it. So it's kind of unfortunate. I'm going to wait till next year to pick it up. I'm not going to buy the release next month and then buy it again. I mean, I can wait a few months, but I'm looking forward to it. I just feel that they should have just given it to us now, not wait until next year to do it. So maybe they have their reasons for it. Who knows?
Yeah, I feel the same. It's just kind of, forcing us to double dip if we really want to own it all. But I don't know. I'm curious to see. Yeah, I guess what they say a little more than 10 minutes. That's all they say.
Yeah.
I'm sure it won't have any huge impact on. I'm not gonna probably love the movie that much more. But I think an X-Men movie should have a lot of characters going on in it, and to see Rogue doing some more stuff in there, that'd be fine. But yeah, they should just rush it out now.
Yeah. I agree with what you guys said. I mean, it'll be nice, of course, to get more actual content, in the movie. For the most part, I'm always, for that, to get, a more complete version of the movie. I mean, before the show went live, we were actually just discussing Blade Runner and other movies that have had many different cuts and versions. And I personally always really like extended cuts because I think it's closer to what the director always wanted it. And then, of course, they have to make certain provisions for theatrical release because, executives are saying, oh, it can't be longer than such and such, so we have to cut certain bits and pieces out. So that's always going to be nice. Like Tony said, I've never been really in love with Anna Paquin's version of Rogue. I think she's definitely more Kitty Pryde than she is Rogue in the comics. But this could be this one scene could be an entire turnaround for a character. Who knows? She might be flying or something and doing what we know Rogue can do. But I have noticed lately that more and more movies are getting on the extended cut bandwagon, and especially since Lord of the Rings really made it popular to do an extended version. But the disturbing part being that the extended version usually doesn't come out until 9 months to a year after the regular DVD release, as Tony and Steve said, as a way to get more money out of people because, they'll pay, another $20 a few months down the line just to get, a new version of the movie. So, I don't know. Again, it's something that I think really started with Lord of the Rings, which personally I love the Lord of the Rings extended cuts. They have like 30 extra minutes of stuff that's absolutely worth it. But they tried to do the same thing with the Hobbit movies, with releasing the extended cut around the same time that the next theatrical release is out, as a way to kind of build off the momentum of each other. So, so I'm not really super psyched that I have to wait for it, but, I'm not sure whether or not at this point, if I'm going to get the Days of Future Past Blu-ray when it comes out next month, or if I will just wait for it. So.
At least they told us about it and didn't announce it like months after we've bought our Days of Future Past copy, and months later, guess what? There's going to be an extended edition. So I'm glad at least they're letting us know ahead of time to plan out what we want to do.
Mm-hmm. And
I could see just the Rogue footage somehow leaking.
Yeah.
And that would be kind of cool just to see it for free.
Yeah. It'll be cool to see anything for free. But so and also kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, I was gonna say I also heard rumors that that Amazing Spider-Man 2 was going to get an extended release. Not because, whereas in Days of Future Past, the critical reception was so warm and people liked it so much that people were like, oh, give us more. But with Amazing Spider-Man, people are like, this is a mess of a movie. Please release a new cut that makes it better.
Yeah.
I have yet to see Amazing Spider-Man 2. I have no interest in seeing it. And, I mean, I will one day, but maybe if they do release a cleaner cut version of the film. I just wasn't a big fan of the first one, so I haven't been that excited to see the second one.
Just for me, just to see Spider-Man moving around in the second movie is just fun to watch. But, cutting-wise and editing-wise, what they ended up with was just pretty sloppy and mishmash, and the romantic storyline was just, I mean, it was important. I mean, you really had to feel her friggin' die, but, it was a little annoying. Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Warren, I knew that.
Yeah, I think everybody pretty much knew it by now. But.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this podcast, you probably know that. Or this live show.
So, but I was disappointed because when I did enjoy the first Amazing Spider-Man, and when I saw the very last scene of the first Amazing Spider-Man, for some reason, I was just instantly a fan of whatever was going to happen, and I didn't think it could be screwed up, and I guess somehow it was, and I was like, oh, that's too bad, because I was on the edge of my seat for over a year waiting for it, and then they just released way too many trailers, and that ruined it for me. I had to force myself to stop watching them. I'm like, wait a second, it's basically piecing together the whole movie here. Which,
including the last shot of the movie.
Which for Rhino, the trailers had all of Rhino's footage. Really.
That's what I heard too. That's what you see in the trailers, what you get in the film in regards to Rhino.
Yeah.
But they do introduce some really fun ideas that make you really go, well, I really can't wait for the next one. I think it'll start out great, but
yeah, definitely like we said. Really just a messy movie. I think that's my biggest complaint with it. It just feels like, the pacing is way off in parts. You could be having this really fun Spider-Man sequence, and then, boom, an hour of Peter Parker romance issues, and then more Spider-Man. So it's really just, poorly edited. It feels like, a bunch of different people were dabbling their hands in it, and messing around with it, and like we said, the last shot of the movie's in the trailer, and a lot of scenes that were in the trailer weren't in the final movie. So it's really just, it feels really sloppy and sloppily put together, and really just a kind of vessel to set up future movies, which is unfortunate because, really, I mean,
yeah, it's a waste of a movie spot,
Yeah, I mean, like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think it does a very good job of, having its own movie and then also setting up future possibilities. Just look at Guardians of the Galaxy. When you think about it, like half of it is at least a Infinity Gauntlet build-up, but you don't feel like it was after you watch the movie. You don't feel like you just watched a trailer for the next one.
Right.
So yeah, so that's my little rant on Amazing Spider-Man 2. So yeah.
I didn't want to admit for a long time how bad it was because I'm such a fan, but it's got nothing to do with Spider-Man and his performance, and I think that's all aces. I love the costume. I love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, and I know he feels really bad too that we Spidey fans didn't get what really should have been made.
Yeah, because I remember him like reading an article that he just like said like, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a kind of a mess. Or he just came out and said that. Yeah, I think he said something to the effect of, huh?
Yeah, he had fun making it, no regrets.
Yeah.
But it was a mess.
Yeah. He said like something got lost in translation.
Now I'm more interested in watching it now that that you guys are telling me it's a mess. I have more of a desire to watch it.
Yeah, who knows? You could love it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you never know. But I am looking forward to what they're planning to do with the Spider-Man universe in regards to like Sinister Six and hopefully the Venom solo movie. That's exciting. Like I really want to see what they do with Sinister Six. And to do a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man, possibly, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, and also a possible Venom movie, I believe.
Yeah, the Venom solo, and then they were thinking about Spider-Woman. I don't know if I remember correctly, or rumor or something, or some sort of female spider hero getting solo film.
She's one of the top names to get it. Yeah.
That would be awesome too. We shall see.
One cool Easter egg I discovered after I watched Spider-Man 2, and didn't notice it the first time, but when Max Electro is having a little birthday party for himself, his cake is green and yellow.
Yeah. That's close as we get to the classic costume.
Yeah, that's all we get. Cake frosting. Here's a blue guy.
Yeah. Here's Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. Except for with less blue dong.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
That's his ultimate Spider-Man eagle, right? What they use for the film?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
More or less, okay. So.
It's just streamlined and blue, and I think it works. But, I don't know. It could have been done a little differently. It works for the cartoons for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get it that, his outlandish classic look would not translate very well to live action, but, still, it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. I guess kind of the same as I feel about, like, Falcon's look in Captain America, where it's just like, oh, they went with the ultimate look. Okay, I'll settle for that, but, And I mean, I thought that, like, the Lizard in the first Amazing Spider-Man, that's one of his more, like, outlandish villains, giant, like, bipedal walking dinosaur, pretty much, but, and I thought they did that well, because, like Steve, I actually enjoyed the first movie, but, something happened with this one.
Yeah.
To the comments really quick, NG Chris says, "Hi guys, morning." Or should I say, over my side, it's morning. So, hello, NG Chris from Singapore, as I remember correctly. But, so yeah, our very loyal live show viewer. And also, just now commented, Lego Master Cole 583 hey guys, sorry can't join tonight. Got to get up early in the morning, but but have fun. May the force be with you. So hey, Caleb, how's it going, man? Sorry you can't join us today, but there's always another show.
Exactly.
So, I guess continuing with the X-Men little tangent we got going here, or I guess getting back to the X-Men tangent from our Spider-Man tangent. It has been confirmed that Bryan Singer will direct X-Men Apocalypse, even though I'm pretty sure we all knew that already. But yeah, so confirmation.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And then I heard that they're also going to make the Apocalypse the last film in the First Class trilogy. There was that, rumor going around as well, and that it's pretty much going to wipe out what we saw in the first X-Men films. It's going to change that timeline, which can be a good thing. Now that they're going to recast some of the, characters from the first three films like Storm and Jean Grey and Cyclops. So, I read about that. Actually, I think it was today. I'm not sure if you saw any articles on that, Logan.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see those particular details, but yeah, I mean, I hope that they keep some of the First Class cast members for future X-Men movies. Like, I mean, personally, I think my favorite being Michael Fassbender as Magneto. I think he's just fantastic. But yeah, so I mean, personally, I know this might sound like a little bit of heresy, but Bryan Singer is not my favorite director of an X-Men movie. That would actually be, gosh, I forget the name, of course, how flattering am I, but the director of First Class, I thought really, what was his name?
Matthew Vaughn.
Matthew Vaughn, yes, director of Kick-Ass. It's all coming back to me. But I thought that he really got a really great comic book fun feeling with First Class, whereas Bryan Singer, I think, tends to suck more of the joy out of superhero movies. I mean, just going back to the first X-Men movie, all black leather, very dark colors and stuff.
Yeah.
But I certainly, Bryan Singer is better than, Trent or whatever the guy had directed Last Stand and the Wolverine and X-Men Origins Wolverine. I'll take Bryan Singer any day over those guys. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely excited to see Apocalypse on the big screen. Such a huge character.
Maybe even somehow Archangel or something.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, if you're gonna do Apocalypse, why not do Archangel?
You need the Four Horsemen or at least Archangel first.
Yeah. Even though I guess we'll have to retcon that because I heard rumors that it's going to be in the 80s, but obviously totally ignoring Last Stand, which had Angel in it for like an incredibly insignificant part.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the only thing, because Archangel is my favorite X-Men character, and they, he was wasted in X-Men 3, and I don't see how they can use him since this film is set in the 80s, and even though X-Men 3 is non-existent now, I guess, I don't know, I mean, I guess they could bring in Angel if they really wanted to, and just if his character is supposed to be the age he's supposed to be in X-Men 3, then they wouldn't be able to, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward. I like Bryan Singer. X-Men 2 is my favorite. Not most people's. X2 is their favorite X-Men film, and I think that he did a fantastic job with that one. And of course, Days of Future Past was great. So, I mean, for whatever reasons, I think Bond had to do something else, or just it didn't work out. But I'm glad that Singer's at least continuing the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that
not in bad hands.
Yeah, definitely. Like I don't want to say that Bryan Singer's a bad filmmaker or anything. I enjoy his X-Men movies, but one thing I never really got my very satisfying Wolverine just tearing up a Sentinel with his claws. Never happened in the movie. I was always a little bit disappointed about that, but.
Imagine real quick, just imagine you're watching the X-Men movies, but instead of seeing what you think you're seeing in your head right now, you saw like colors.
Yeah.
Any kind of color.
Yeah, just somebody just goes and backs and like just individually photoshops each frame of the movie to like Wolverine's got tiger stripes and stuff.
Yeah.
Bring back the yellow and green and the yellow and blue spandex.
I know.
Blue, yeah.
And that was actually a cut scene from the Wolverine, was him getting presented his, traditional outfit.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that picture, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw the scene,
No. Just
but
the
we
prop.
did get pictures, yeah, so.
And it looked
It
nice.
almost appeared in the movie. Almost.
Yeah, almost.
Maybe they'll make it work for Apocalypse.
Yeah. I mean, do we know that Hugh Jackman's coming back for Apocalypse at this point?
Not officially.
No. It's going to happen, though.
I mean, they'll definitely pay him a bunch of money to get him back, because I think both Hugh Jackman and Robert Downey Jr. are both, like, just iconic as their comic book roles, to the point where the studio will pay them whatever they want just to get him back. So, definitely.
They still got some good years left in them, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if I remember correctly, I did read an article a while back where Hugh Jackman said that, and he was very vague with how he phrased it, but he said that the next one will be my last.
Mm.
So I don't know. Hopefully that's, not like he's going to call it quits whenever they make the next, Wolverine solo movie, which I heard that there's going to be a Wolverine solo movie before Apocalypse maybe, or afterwards. But they're planning another Wolverine solo movie, so. But definitely at least give him one more X-Men team movie, and then he can part ways, I guess.
Retire.
Yeah, I'm not sure how old he was when he did the first one, but that was 14 years ago, when you think about it. I mean, it's a long time ago. With Apocalypse being released in 2016, it's 16 years. So even if he was like 30, he's, in his late 40s. He's going to be in his late 40s when Apocalypse releases, so. Yeah. He's probably getting at that time now. He's like, my body can't handle this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's something that, is very different because, like, everybody's always speculating, like, oh, when's Robert Downey Jr. going to call it quits or something, but I think that, Hugh Jackman is probably going to be a lot sooner for him because, just because of the physical requirements of being Wolverine versus Tony Stark where, you can just, CGI the suit and have a stunt double doing most of it, and, you only need RDJ for the outside of the suit stuff, so he could be, like, 60 even, I guess, as long as he colors his hair. But
dyes it black, he's good to go. CGI some wrinkles off of him, and
Tony never has to worry about showing a little something for the ladies, so he doesn't have to have that crazy
Hugh Jackman in his gratuitous shirtless scenes.
Yeah.
And his ass.
Yeah, that one shot. Yeah. Now I heard it come back to me. Suppress the memory.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, so, definitely Wolverine's a lot more physical of a role. And, obviously he's, like, shirtless for, at least a quarter of the movie every time. So,
yeah.
A lot more.
It's harder to stay ripped that way when you're 50-something years old, probably.
Yeah.
Assuming it is, I don't know. It's hard for me at 35. I can only imagine when I'm 50.
Yeah. What?
Those Hollywood plans that those, fitness trainers put these people on, though, are crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I read a little bit of what, like, Chris Pratt did, to get in shape, and it was just like, I don't know, he had this advice. He's like, you want to get in shape like Star-Lord? It's like, first of all, that fast food meal you're about to have, don't have it. Replace it with just water for the rest of the night and don't eat anything, and then the next day just eat, like, some chicken here and, I don't know, nuts. That was it.
Definitely. And, like, going back to Wolverine, like, I heard that in preparation for, I think it was the Wolverine, like, Hugh Jackman in an interview said that he finally got his physique to what he always wanted Wolverine to have. And it was, like, this, like, really outrageously low, like, percent body fat. Like, you know, no other human being has that low a percent body fat. Like, even like normal, healthy, regular people don't have that low amount. It's like 2% or something. It's insane. So yeah, definitely, it's like incredible how they come. But I guess if you have like several $1 million of incentive to do that rigorous workout, it sure helps.
Yep. Definitely puts it in perspective for you.
Yeah. Speaking of Wolverine, there's actually now an online petition for a life-size statue of Wolverine to be placed in Edmonton, Canada. Which, so, thoughts?
Why?
A fully colored one, a bronze one.
I do not know. Let's see. Because, let's see, this is the actual letter written to the mayor of Edmonton. He says, please consider the opinions of the citizens who have signed this petition towards the creation of a life-size Wolverine statue be placed somewhere in this great city of Edmonton to be viewed by all who live here and visit, as Wolverine is a Canadian and Albertan symbol of strength, perseverance in the face of tragedy, and overall heroic.
So not Hugh Jackman Wolverine, just Wolverine.
Just Wolverine in general.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Canadians proud of Wolverine's heritage.
Yeah, I'd say do it. I'm sure.
I mean, that would be like, you know, erecting a Superman or something, you know, in the United States. Yeah. Or where, yeah, in Kansas or something. I mean, that's cool. I thought you meant Hugh Jackman himself, like, you know.
Yeah, it's actually
cool.
Yeah,
it's actually
cool to
funny.
see what you know, art direction they take, what style.
Yeah.
Who
knows if it'll actually happen? But it certainly will.
Yeah. Who knows?
And
Maybe
it's
they'll get
actually
enough.
funny that you mentioned that, Tony, because I saw a video a while back on this channel that I follow called Retro Blasting, where they were just out of town and they came across this place, an actual like town called Smallville. And in the town of Smallville, I forget which state it is, but in that town of Smallville, they actually have a museum dedicated to Superman and Superman memorabilia. So, stuff like this does exist out there.
Yep.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a Batman statue somewhere in New Jersey or something, you know.
Yeah, I say why not? I say do it. I think, you know, I mean, Wolverine is, that's what Canada has. I mean, besides Alpha Flight when it comes to the comic books, and Wolverine's such a...
Who likes Alpha Flight?
They're not the most popular, but now that we got Guardians, maybe we'll get Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
You know, you never know now. We might get Sasquatch and Puck and whatnot sooner or later.
Yeah. I guess technically they'd be done by Fox if they were done at all. But
that's... Never mind.
Let's have an X-Force movie before Alpha Flight, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had talked about X-Force happening, but it's been pretty quiet recently. But going back to the Wolverine, I think it's a great idea. I mean, it does give a sense of pride, you know, because he is Canadian and whatnot. And he does, you know, have some symbolic, you know, kind of tie to that town or whatnot. So I think it would be cool.
I could see a lot of people going and get their picture taken with it, and
oh yeah.
If I was a son and I was with my dad or something, I'd be like, I want to see it.
Yeah, definitely. So, going to comments really quickly. Lego Master Cole says, in response to Tony saying hey in the chat, "Hey Tony, and I'm doing great, Logan. Thanks for asking. How are you all?" I'm doing good. What about you guys? You guys doing good?
Good.
Yep. Good.
Thank you for that, Caleb. And NG Chris comments, yes, Archangel should be in an X-Men movie. I'm watching the X-Men anime from 2011 online. I find it's cool. Nice. So, have you guys seen the X-Men anime? Because I've seen, like, pictures of it, but I've never watched it before. Personally, I'm not a huge anime fan, So, but it's X-Men, so maybe I'll try it.
I haven't seen much of it. I'm weird with anime. I like very particular stories, and it's not very many of them. But I remember for a while I did watch the Iron Man anime show, and that was pretty cool. I remember. So I'm gonna try the X-Men one at some point.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. I think it was shown on G4 when G4 still existed back in the day, and I think
R.I.P. G4.
Yeah, I miss G4, and they had shown Blade or something like that, and kind of remember seeing an episode, but it didn't have a lot of action in it. I remember just a lot of dialogue, which is fine and whatnot, but that's one of the reasons I don't watch many anime, because you'll get a lot of dialogue, and I understand why. I mean, they can't put action into every episode for half the episode because it costs money or whatnot, and I just remember not getting into it. Yeah.
Sometimes they're master storytellers over there in Japan. Sometimes too much for their own good. I mean, sometimes you have to get like 80 episodes deep until there's like something happens. But when it happens, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're so ADD in America. We need to see action like every 5 minutes. Give me something. Give me something. You know. So.
I refer to them as filler episodes where stuff might not happen for a period of time, but that's just the slow burn.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys really bring up like a very important point, like when you're contrasting Western with Japanese animation, that our cartoon and animated shows tend to be a lot more like episodic, where it's a new adventure every week, so you can get more action in there. Whereas Japanese shows tend to, I forget the name for it, but like have one long story told throughout.
An arc.
But so really the most I've ever been into an anime show would probably be, which it really isn't even anime because it was done by a Western studio, but it was done in an anime style, and that would be Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was super into that show for a period of time, and I actually just went back and watched like the first few episodes quite recently. It's a really high quality show. So.
Yeah, and you get that great storyline. You get this great story, and you do get this overarching story, but you get the action as well. I mean, you're guaranteed some action in every episode that you see, and I love Avatar too, and I really liked Korra too. It's a great show, and Teen Titans, one of my favorite shows. Had that anime style to it, and there was storylines that you would see that were consistent throughout the entire run of the show. But you got action, But
really good
with anime. Yeah. But with anime, you're, like even when I was watching Dragon Ball as a kid, I just remember thinking to myself, these fights take forever. You're watching Vegeta go at it with Goku for like 10 episodes straight when they're just talking. Right. You see the same animation being used over and over again. It was cool as heck back then, but now I'd be like, oh my god.
Or
get it done with.
There's one show that my buddy watches, and he watches them all, he loves them, but I noticed in particular with this one called Bleach, where it has some cool stuff going on, but they recap like the final 8 minutes every time before the next episode. Yeah. So that half of the, not half of it, but a good chunk of the episode is just recap from the one before. And then you're barely moved that many steps forward by the end of the new episode. You're like, all right, baby steps. But again,
edit that 8 minutes out.
Yeah.
Make it one super episode.
They just like the build-up, but you never know if it's going to be worth it. So you're like, you don't know if you want to sit down and make it worth your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our little talk about anime. Anime, yeah. None of us would be considered experts in it, but
no.
But something that I also, kind of, while we're on the subject of TV, a couple of comic book shows made their return / debut this past week, and I guess since we're at Marvel, we'll start with Marvel. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 premiered. Have you guys seen it? What do you think about it?
I saw it. I loved it. Oh, go ahead, Steve.
I didn't see it yet. Did that was had to do with Absorbing Man or no?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Did you see it, Logan?
Yes, I actually saw it because, I mean, like, we've talked about it in past shows, in my opinion, on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and my problems I had with the first season, but I'm not, like, against it. I'm going to give this show every opportunity to impress me and make me like it. And I have to say that genuinely, I really liked the Season 2 premiere a whole heck of a lot more than I did any episode from Season 1. I think it's a large part because, I don't know if I want to spoil what happened at the end of Season 1 for anybody, but I think they're in a much more interesting place now, just in terms of a scenario with, can I just go ahead and spoil it? I feel like it's just something everybody knows. Okay, so, S.H.I.E.L.D. is disbanded, like there's rogue assets now, and Coulson and his team are now a rogue team, I guess. And they've got their underground base, air hangar that takes care of you and stuff. I just think much more interesting stuff than here's a team of players and they're just investigating their stuff. So, this pretty much this is S.H.I.E.L.D. And so I thought that was a lot more interesting. It had an Absorbing Man in it, like we said, which I thought was really cool. That's something that I really thought S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1 was lacking, was super character.
There, Logan.
Huh?
I don't know if Steve heard it, but it sounded like you were cutting out when I was listening to you.
Oh, was I cutting out?
Second, yes. But you're good now, I think.
You're good now. Right. We didn't hear any of that. Sorry, Logan.
All right. The Absorbing Man, is that where? I think that was probably where it cut out. But, yeah, so...
Yeah, that's what you thought the first one was lacking.
Yeah, I thought, the first season was definitely lacking super characters, so... the fact that we started off Season 2 with Absorbing Man, who is a kind of important Hulk villain, So, that was interesting. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. I enjoyed it. I really liked what they did with the Absorbing Man. And some cool special effects, too. I mean, for being a television show, I think they did a great job showing us what his powers are like. And we saw a lot of, he was absorbing a lot of different material throughout the entire show. And I like the reference, to the comic books when he grabbed, you know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil it, but when he was going at it with against Agent May, that was cool, too. And I do like the direction of the show. I like how they're recruiting new people onto the team, even though it seems like some of them didn't make it through the first episode, which is unfortunate. And just more twists, more turns, and we got that cameo at the beginning of a certain agent and certain team, so that was kind of nice too. A little nod.
They will be making their own TV premiere in just a few months.
Hint. So that even got me a little bit more excited for that show. I'm like, maybe I can like it if it's what I'm seeing right now in the first few minutes. And but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what they're going to do this season with Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Watch it, Steve.
I'm gonna watch it later. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely, I think it's worth it. Like I said, a lot more interesting scenario that they're in now, which makes it. And also starting off the show, in that particular setting that I don't want to spoil, but instantly hooked my attention more like, oh, so this is where we're starting things off for Season 2. So,
and we got that Easter egg, too, at the beginning that pertains to the ending of the last season. So that was kind of nice to see as well.
Yeah, kind of like a Raiders of the Lost Ark, like moment there with what's in the... I guess really it'd be a Crystal Skull reference where, oh, hey, look, this was in a previous thing.
Yeah. And we're getting a new villain, too, that isn't so much an A-list villain, but, more of a Captain America D-list villain, but that was kind of nice, too, that we're getting that character as well.
So, finally, we're getting some Hydra stuff as well, because, that's That's something
Yes.
that I always wanted with Shield season 1 was, well, okay, when are they going to fight Hydra? Because, Shield has to fight Hydra at some point. So, finally getting that.
Yeah, we're getting some of those Hydra villains.
Yeah, so maybe, I'm hoping that this is, just kind of like a Star Trek The Next Generation syndrome where, okay, first season kind of sucks, but it's going to get a lot better.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that leads us to our next show to talk about. Gotham premiered this past week. Did you guys see it? What did you think about it?
I have it DVR'd, and again, that's on the to watch list. I didn't DVR Shield. I have to look at that online somewhere. But I heard my friend's opinion about Gotham, and he said that it was cool, but it seemed like a lot of characters thrown at you. But he's like, it is the first episode, and it's time to introduce them. So he said I should watch it.
I haven't seen it either. This is one show that I probably won't be watching, only because, like some people have said, I just can't watch a show that has no Batman in it. And I heard about the same thing that Steve mentioned in regards to, like, I understand that they're trying to get that fan service in there, but a lot of characters were thrown at you in that first episode. A lot of references to the Batman universe, but I don't know, maybe I'll give it a chance, but it's not something I didn't even know it was on because I just haven't really been hyped about watching the show because Batman's not in it. So I don't know. If I can get past that, then I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I guess I'm the only one here that actually did see it themselves. But yeah, I definitely agree that a lot of characters are just thrown in there like willy-nilly. Just it feels kind of like a sales pitch almost, where like they're just kind of like pitching to the company, like, okay, hey, look, we're gonna have all these future villains that are not going to be villains, but hey, they're here, and like it seemed really convenient that like all these characters just so happen to be related to certain events, which I won't spoil, but like certain characters witness certain things that you're just like, that didn't happen in the comics, but okay. And also, I think some characterizations were off, at least in terms to the Batman universe that I know. For instance, this isn't really a spoiler, it's just a minor character, but Renee Montoya is in there.
Yeah.
Who you guys at home will be familiar with if you've seen Batman the Animated Series. She was in quite a few episodes of that, but she's kind of like almost at this point, she could change, do a complete 180 later on, but she's kind of almost an antagonistic force to Gordon at this point, and also she's not a rookie, which that was kind of the whole thing with Renee Montoya in the animated series, but she was the rookie cop that got stuck in this crazy world that has Batman and Joker in it and stuff, but yeah, so, I mean, it'll be interesting, but I do think a few performances were really good. I like the guy who plays young Oswald Cobblepot. I thought he did a really good job. And, I wouldn't mind seeing him, in a few years as an actual, like, in a Batman movie, if he continues with being as good as he is here. But, yeah, so, I mean, yeah. It's got some good visuals, I think. And that was another thing, where I think, I've already, said how much I really like Arrow on the show. But Arrow, you just get in a few, like, generic aerial shots and like, oh, this is supposed to be Starling City, but, it's just like, some Detroit footage or something, some aerial footage. But with Gotham, it feels like they really went out of their way to make, like, the aerial shots. They did, some photoshopping to it or whatever, some CGI. To make it feel like Gotham, you make it feel very, I guess, kind of creepy and, mysterious looking. So it actually does, look and feel like Gotham City, not just, generic American City.
That's a huge thing for Gotham, because
yeah.
When you look at Gotham really compared to other cities, it's almost like its own character. It really has to look and feel right for anything to work. Yeah, I'll check it out still.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that kind of puts me off is that I know a lot of the villains, of course, are young. I mean, I think they mentioned that some of the villains that we see in Gotham are kids, you know, they're or at least young teenagers. So there's, you know, you're not going to get some high-profile Batman villains because they're all pretty much around Bruce Wayne's age, you know, in the series. That's kind of another reason I'm like, I mean, you know, I heard of a particular female character that's in there, but she's young, and it's like, all right, so we may see her become what she eventually becomes, but we're not going to really get to see that character, period, you know?
Yeah.
So unless they decide to go in the future with this show, and we do eventually get Batman, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, definitely, we'll probably get, like, what they did with, like, Smallville, where, like, the final scene of the final episode will be the character actually suiting up and be like,
Batman.
here I am, you know, but, definitely, but I mean, like, we get some, like, particularly, I think the monster Batman characters are a lot older than Batman, so you can actually have them, like,
Falcone.
can I just, you know, yeah, Carmine Falcone, he's in the show, I'm just gonna say it. So, yeah, he's in there, but, you know, they also created this really character I don't really care for called Fish Mooney, which is a ridiculous name, but it's Will Smith's wife.
Jada Pinkett, yeah.
Yeah, and she's playing this, like, underling to Carmine Falcone, and it just, I don't care for it. I mean, it's just, you know, it just feels like, okay, Will Smith's wife wants to be in the show, so let's make up this character for her. You know, it just doesn't feel like...
So she's not a Batman villain?
Yeah, she's completely
she's
made
not
up.
established in the comic books. Okay.
Yeah, complete, like, you know, fiction. Well, a fiction created fiction.
Yeah, for the show.
Yeah, so don't really care for that.
And then there's bad fiction.
Yeah. So I hope she dies soon.
Yeah. Tell us how you really feel.
So, yeah, but it has, like S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1, I think it has the potential to get better, you know, as it goes along. And I thought that, you know, the guy that played Bullock in the show, I thought he was good. Not quite, you know, the Harvey Bullock I know from, like, the animated series, but I think a good interpretation of the character. So, and while we're at Gotham real quick, I just saw in the comments feed, Mad Woba's tuning in. Hey, Mad Woba, how's it going, man?
Hello.
Hey, Mad.
And he says that Gotham was surprisingly good. A friend of mine talked me into watching it online last.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so it's got the Mad Woba stamp of approval.
Then I may have to watch it.
Yeah.
That's pushed me in the direction, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, I probably agree with that statement. I wasn't expecting it to be good at all, really, but, you know, I was surprised, you know, this is a solid show, you know, and definitely more interesting than your average cop show because it does have the unique feature of being in the Batman universe. So, you know,
True.
I'd watch it any day over Law and Order or whatever.
Right.
True.
Right. Might as well, right. Yeah.
But in the comments, real quick, both NG Chris and Lego Master Cole have been mentioning Star Wars Rebels. Apparently, 45-minute mini movie episode of that has been released online. I don't really care so much about Rebels.
I'm with you, Logan. I'm not too fond of what Rebels is, and I have no interest in watching that online. I'll probably wait till it comes on TV and give it a go, but I have not been pumped for Rebels too much myself either.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so-so about it. A couple of things visually I like, but I don't know. Maybe until I watch it, it might change, but it just doesn't feel Star Wars-y to me. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I'm with you. I saw the action figures today, the Toys R Us exclusive 3-pack,
Yeah.
Rebel Reveal, whatever it's called, and they just, yeah, I mean, it's 5 points of articulation, which already puts me off. But
Yep.
just looking at the figures, they were just too cartoony-ish. I mean,
Yeah.
just compared to Clone Wars figures, they just felt a lot more animated. And
Just so simple. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And it just, I don't know, I really just no interest in picking up the figures, and I was just like, put it right back on the shelf. And I just feel the same way about this show. I mean, I'm definitely going to give it a shot, and maybe I'll be, pleasantly surprised. I mean, it took me a while before I got into Clone Wars itself too. I didn't jump on board Clone Wars until like season 3 when Savage Opress was, made his first appearance. So I'm the kind of the same way with this one, but I'll definitely give it a shot from the get go. But I'm not interested in going online. Don't you have to have like a subscription though to see it online?
I don't know.
Look, it's
Well, first ask here.
So people seem to be liking it.
It reminds me of like if you were to take like, we'll just use an example, like a group of kids at MIT or something, and here's a bunch of money, make your own little Star Wars cartoon. Like this would be one person's interpretation,
Mhm.
and it's nothing. It's just for me so far is like, oh, that's wicked cool. So,
Yeah.
And,
we'll
and,
see.
and Caleb brings up a good point in the comments is that, I mean, we get the Inquisitor, which, I mean, he just seems like just, to me, another knockoff Sith character. I'm like, why
Yeah.
not give us Vader? Why not? I mean, he's the one who was going around killing Jedi. Why not give us Vader? Why not attract some of the, OG Star Wars fans and get Vader in this film? Have him going around hunting the Jedi. Why introduce this new Sith character? I mean, I don't know. I think they just made a bad choice in regards to that. And that's what I liked about the Clone Wars books. You got a lot of characters that you were familiar with from the films. You got Anakin, you got Obi-Wan, tons of characters. And with Rebels, they're really trying to make it almost like a new, separate Star Wars universe with a few characters thrown in, like 3PO or R2-D2 here and there. Why not have Vader? Why not get to see the Emperor from the get-go? That would have got me more
Yeah.
excited about watching Rebels.
Definitely, and I mean, yeah, it's a problem that I have with a lot of shows or movies and media in general that likes to go back after the fact and just like insert stuff in between the lines, as it were, and say like, oh, this actually happened with these group of people that is really important, but it's never mentioned at all in the movies. That's it's really important. We're telling you it's important. So, and I feel the same way. It's like. They just created this new villain character so that, they could, have a viable excuse for Vader not mentioning it in the movies or something. But it's just, I just don't really care. It's, like you said, a knockoff Sith character. We don't really need a new Sith. Like, oh, I didn't know that there was a Sith Inquisitor around. I thought that there was only 2 Sith. Isn't that the whole rule that the movie set up? 2 Sith, there can only be 2, but no, there can be 3 apparently. But yeah, and I mean, actually, Lego Master Cole brings up just now commented saying that he'd rather seen a younger Star Killer if that was canon. But that's actually kind of a similar thing that I initially had a problem with The Force Unleashed. But I kind of grew to accept it as time went on. Was that oh, Vader had an apprentice, but it's never mentioned ever again in any other media except for The Force Unleashed.
Mm.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can grow to like the show in time. Honestly, I haven't even seen an episode of it. Maybe just seeing it in action will convert my opinion of it. But I'm just really skeptical of the entire idea of it.
Just seems, I don't know. Yeah, just everything. The overall look and feel is very drab.
Yeah. I guess that's our little Rebels chat right there.
Rebels rant.
Yeah, Rebels rant. You're right. Actually, something else that's Star Wars related and Star Wars animation related is, did you guys see the video on StarWars.com's YouTube channel, Star Wars: The Clone Wars' Legacy?
Nope.
That was the
Well,
one where they spoke about the test footage episodes,
it,
the Utapau ones.
yeah. So pretty much for those of you guys watching at home that don't know what we're talking about now, is quite recently on StarWars.com, they released a video called Star Wars: The Clone Wars Legacy, which for the first half of it just talks about the stuff that we already know, that Star Wars: The Clone Wars is continuing in print with the Darth Maul stories being in the comics and with other stories being in novel format with Asajj Ventress, but also that they're releasing these test animation rough cuts of would-be episodes of the Clone Wars. One, like you said, involving, I believe, Obi-Wan and Anakin on Utapau, and another one which is just completely skipping my mind at the moment, but I believe they're live now on StarWars.com, so you can watch it. But, just be warned, it's not in any way finished animation. It's very much a rough, rough animated cut of it.
Hmm.
I mean, I do want to watch them sooner or later. I mean, just to kind of get an idea of what could have been. Just the fact that it's a rough cut animation kind of puts me off.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, it's got to be pleasing to the eyes. But I mean, it's cool. I guess I definitely do want to check them out sooner or later. And I've been reading the Son of Dathomir comic book. Just picked up the second issue today, actually, and I've been liking it. So, just need to sit down and just make the effort to watch the rough cuts sooner or later.
Well, you could just listen to the audio like it was a radio drama.
Yeah, that's true. And I did see the concept art. They had some really cool concept art of Asajj, who I love in Clone Wars, and they had some other concept art of different planets or whatever and character designs that they were going to use. So that was kind of cool to see. I mean, they had Asajj with hair, so, a little different look for her. So I definitely recommend checking out that art if you guys get a chance to do that. But, yeah, it was cool. I mean, I will look at the episode sooner or later.
I mean, personally, I haven't even finished watching the Netflix episodes of the Lost Season. But, because I've already discussed before how the Clone Wars animated show, CGI show, to me isn't really my version of the Clone Wars. But, it's good to see that Disney, although they canceled it, outright just so they could, start Rebels and have a show on Disney XD, so more money. But at least they still somewhat care about the fans of the Clone Wars with continuing these in other formats. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't read, any of the Son of Dathomir comics because, personally, again, I'm going to do some Star Wars, Clone Wars heresy here, but I don't think that Maul should have been brought back at all because he got cut in half. You can't really survive that. He used the Force, but yeah, I mean, seriously, he got cut in half. Even the Force can't save you from that. So,
Darth Maul.
yeah.
Darth Maul's trying to pull a Jason or a Freddy. You just let it happen. I came back.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's like the Joker. When you think that he's dead, he comes back. Yeah, so, but I'm glad to see that Disney still does somewhat care for Clone Wars fans.
Yeah.
So go in the comments really quick. We got several from Lego Master Cole. He says, I saw the new Legacy episodes. He thought that they were pretty good, and he wishes they had finished animating them. He also says the new unfinished episodes are relevant to the original trilogy and give a secret behind a cool weapon. I don't know, the Death Star. I'm trying to guess what your riddle means. But, yeah, so and think of it like an audiobook. The voice acting is amazing in the episode. So, yeah, I guess you can just, do it like that.
Close my eyes then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
close my eyes. But, yeah, so apparently it's, there's a little tidbit there for some original trilogy fans.
Hmm.
I don't know. Again, just kind of like what I said about Rebels, it just feels like they're just going back and inserting something into the timeline and saying, oh, hey, this is important. I digress. And Lego Master Cool just commented something pretty funny. He says Maul was saved by a bunch of fans waiting to catch him at the bottom of that hole. Very true, very true. um, Continuing on with Star Wars, some new Episode 7 stuff got leaked or was officially released. I'm not really sure. But a new type of trooper called a Chrome Trooper. I'm pretty sure that's just a fan name, but that's all screen shared anyway. I'm not sure if this. I guess this is concept art. Here this is.
Yep. That's
He's very chrome.
It's cool.
I like it.
I think it's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, hoping that it's well, I mean, I guess it's official, or I mean, well, still not official yet, but I'm looking forward to see what the whole final product looks like. But I like the idea, I like the concept behind it.
I like the cloth hood.
Mm-hmm.
What the rest of them looks like, but
yeah.
Again, it looks like very, yeah. I mean, yeah, it definitely looks like it comes a lot from, classic Stormtrooper design with the little frowny face there, and then the eyes section. So
general shape's all there still.
Could be cool, and also some.
Looks like if Dr. Doom and a Stormtrooper had a baby.
I didn't think about that now, but yeah, that is exactly what it is. I mean,
you can't go wrong there, right?
Yeah, I know. So, and actually, along with this, there's I'm not sure if this is a leak or just a rumor, but a potential story context with what these Chrome Troopers are. I don't know if you guys want me to share that, because some people might be a bit more sensitive to potential mild spoilers than others, but there is some.
I would rather not hear it. I'm really trying to stay away from Star Wars storyline reveals or leaks because I don't want it to be ruined. I don't want the same thing to happen to me that happened to Steve in regards to Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it can happen. Oversaturated with it.
Exactly. I don't want to get oversaturated with Episode 7.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to get tons of trailers when it gets closer to release. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that information is out there if you wish to find it to anybody who's watching us at home with what these Chrome Troopers are. But they do look cool, and they look like Dr. Doom made a baby with his Lego Master Cole keeps on coming with these witty remarks, and he says that the Chrome Trooper is the third member of Daft Punk.
Daft Punk.
Yes, he just right on the head with that one.
That's funny.
I have a few articles left, but did any of you guys have any story articles that you saw this week that you want to bring up? Because I know that that's happened in the past where I've just completely skipped over something potentially big.
No, I read today that they might release the Avengers 2 trailer with Interstellar. I'm not sure when Interstellar's released, though. I think it's going to be November, December.
Yeah.
So possibly get the trailer then. I was reading that today, so so that's kind of cool that we're finally getting a trailer for Avengers.
It'd be nice to go into 2015 with.
Yeah.
Something
definitely.
That's all I can think of myself.
Wow.
Yeah, there's
Definitely not
actually
opposed to seeing
movie
it.
news.
Yeah.
Either that or it'll premiere with The Hobbit, maybe.
Yeah. No, they definitely said it would be Interstellar, so. Yeah. But in regards to news, that's pretty much it.
Just thought it might be
No.
returning the favor since Hobbit trailer was with Guardians of the Galaxy.
And Guardians being released in December. I saw that today on Blu-ray.
Yeah, of course, holiday season money.
Of course. That's definitely got to be in my stocking.
Or you can wait a year for the extended cut.
The good thing about Marvel movies is we don't get extended cuts.
Yeah. Most of the time, at least.
Yeah, I mean Marvel cinematic movies definitely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I can't think
Steve,
of any other news.
Yeah. Got anything, Steve, before we head on?
No, nothing really. No.
With that, I guess segue into the cinematic universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I found this to be quite an interesting little tidbit. Apparently, let me see where this is. There's going to be a new university college level course focusing on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, before, you think this is going to be, like, just completely ridiculous, where you're going to, like, have to do an essay on Wolverine or something, but, or not Wolverine, because he's not the Cinematic Universe, but anyway, it's not about the characters themselves so much as just the media marketing side of things and the enormous success that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's going to be at the University of Baltimore. And this is there's a quote by the professor that's going to be teaching it, and it's Arnold T. Blumberg. And he says that one thing we'll do is to dive into the impact of the Guardians of the Galaxy film, which proved two things. Both mainstream movie audiences are not remotely tired of superhero movies, and Marvel Studios can now release a sci-fi adventure that actually features talking trees and raccoons. It's not that they're getting away with it. They've created a universe in which fans completely accept these developments, and they're ready for even more.
Yeah.
He continues on saying that every generation has a modern media mythology that serves as a framework for entertaining as well as educating about ethics, morality, issues of race, gender, class, and so on. For the past several years, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings have served in that role for tens of millions. When I was younger, it was the first Star Wars trilogy, which I saw in the theater. For me, that saga, along with many other science fiction stories, provided that essential exploration of the hero journey, the struggle of good versus evil in a mainstream pop culture context. So yeah, it sounds like a really interesting class to take. Sign me up.
I would like to join that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my UC Santa Cruz days, senior year, where I pretty much fulfilled all my requirements and was taking classes on the Muppets, on Disney, and the Beatles.
Yes,
I was pretty much done, so
That is
I think
awesome.
that's great that they're doing something like that.
It sounds like exactly the company of this class would keep. Fascinating.
Yeah, they were fun classes. I mean, you do dig deep into, like you were mentioning, Logan, about the business and just the popularity and the marketing strategies. I mean, I just remember really enjoying those classes. So yeah, when I heard about that, I was like, oh, how cool. Would have loved to have taken something like that myself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and also, beyond, just the marketing of it, that the article did, or the man Blumberg, the professor said that they will be like getting into the lessons that the movies have taught, and kind of boiling them down to the hero's journey, which is the big template from which many movies are made, not just Marvel, but Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and stuff. good versus evil and stuff. So it sounds like truly a fascinating class. And with this being my senior year of high school, I might put in an application for University of Baltimore just for that class. So yeah, definitely awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool.
And continuing with something that is kind of related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is actually from a while ago. This was like 11 days ago. So this is actually like 2 weeks old news, which I'm sure you guys probably heard by now. But Tom Hiddleston, who, for those of you watching at home that don't know, is Loki in several Marvel movies now, is going to be starring in the King Kong prequel called Skull Island.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So,
Is it going to? It's not going to be directed by Peter Jackson, right? This prequel. Does it have any ties with the King Kong movie from a few years back?
I'm not really
Do you know,
sure.
Logan?
I mean, yeah, it says here in the article that the movie is going to be directed by somebody called Jordan Bogut Roberts. So
Okay.
not Peter Jackson, but yeah. So honestly, who knows? This could be a reboot. Maybe this is like kind of like maybe Legendary Pictures, which is the studio behind this. Maybe they're kind of doing a Marvel Cinematic Universe thing, or setting up King Kong in his own movie so he can cross over with Godzilla. It could happen. They own the rights to both of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think Legendary is badass, first of all. But I'm down to see it. I mean, he picks good roles, and I'm just a big Kong fan too. So
Yeah. I know. If I'm
I
not
mean, with
mistaken-
the
Oh, go ahead, Tony.
I was just gonna say, with the success of just recent like kaiju films like Godzilla and Pacific Rim, it's only natural that they want to do something with the King Kong franchise, and I'm looking forward to it too. I like King Kong, especially when they're on Skull Island, and you see the big battles between the T-Rexes and King Kong himself. So I'm looking forward to seeing some more of that, and it'll be nice to see Tom Hiddleston in something else besides the Marvel movies. And he's a good actor. He has appeal. So he definitely, I think, would work in attracting some people to that movie.
Yeah. Particularly the teenage girl audience.
There you go. and some teenage men. And some men too.
Whoa.
yeah,
Daniel Leese will be there day one. I definitely don't judge, but Daniel Leese will be there. He's such a fanboy of Tom Hiddleston. I always think of him.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed Peter Jackson's King Kong movie. Peter Jackson in general, I just really enjoy as a filmmaker, so I'm not sure how much of my enjoyment of the movie was from King Kong, the actual subject matter of the movie itself, or just from his style of directing. But yeah, so I'm open to seeing a prequel to it. I don't know what it's going to be about. I guess it's going to be King Kong when he's young or something.
I don't know.
But doesn't Legendary also? Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, you did remind me of one of my favorite games as a kid. Just thinking about Godzilla and King Kong going at it, just thinking about seeing like King of the Monsters on screen.
Yeah.
Rampage.
But so you really like Peter Jackson, Logan? Have you ever heard of Bad Taste?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
When you're not doing anything, look up Bad Taste. It's one of Peter Jackson's first movies. It's a sci-fi horror movie. He acts in it as well, and you're just gonna get a kick out of it if you're a Peter Jackson fan. First of all,
Yeah.
but it's an hilarious movie about aliens. You'd never guess that this was the same guy that turned out Lord of the Rings. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But it's great.
Yeah, I remember, I think it must have been in, one of the special features for one of his other movies, but, seeing, clips and tidbits of him, doing, his really early, student, independent films,
Yeah.
They, and they just look. It almost reminds me of like Sam Raimi, like early Sam Raimi, like some of his Peter Jackson. Personally, the oldest movie of Peter Jackson that I've seen is The Frighteners.
Oh, yep.
Oh, I remember that movie.
Good movie.
Which, it's been a while since I've watched it, but I remember quite enjoying it. It's pretty much the only other non-Back to the Future thing I've seen Michael J. Fox in. So it's refreshing to see him as something different, and it's genuinely frightening in some parts, but it's also a comedy, and it's a fun movie. So
Yep.
really enjoy his style, I guess. And
It was pretty ahead of
I
its time too. I think when it came out, visual wise, it was pretty ahead of its time.
yeah, with like the ghost effects and stuff.
Mm.
And, if I'm not mistaken, going back to the whole King Kong thing, doesn't Legendary, did they also do Pacific Rim, or was that a different studio?
I think it's Legendary.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't they just get off their butts and just make like the ultimate kaiju crossover movie? I mean, come on. It
Let's
wouldn't
make it
make any
happen.
sense whatsoever because they're completely distinctly different film universes. But just turn off the brain for one movie and just have them go at have Michael Bay direct it for all I care. As long as it's just gratuitous action of them fighting for 2 hours.
Yeah. If there was going to be a King of the Monsters movie, it would have to be flick the brain off to at least this level.
Yeah. Michael Bay level enjoyment of the movie.
Let's do it.
I'm sure he would.
Going to the comments really quick. Lego Master Cole 583, in response to us talking about Peter Jackson's King Kong, he was not a fan of it. Apparently, Caleb was not a fan of it. He says, got to be better than the Jack Black one. And he says he feels like Jack Black, but didn't really fit in well. I mean, personally, I don't think that he ruins the movie for me or anything, but, Jack Black I always just see as a very contemporary person, so him in like a historical setting just doesn't really work. I'm half expecting him to like pull out like an electric guitar and just start rocking away or something, Tenacious D style. But but he played a good jerk in the movie, an unlikable jerk that's what his character was supposed to be. So he succeeded. But Lego Master Pro actually just now commented, isn't Godzilla much bigger than King Kong? If so, that means Gypsy Danger will have to help King Kong. And that is actually true. Somewhere in this house, it's not even in my bookcase, but I think I just got it like a long time ago. It's like a book of like all the different movie monsters. And it has like a size chart. And Godzilla, like King Kong to Godzilla, King Kong is approximately about the size of, I would say, from Godzilla's ankle. So,
wow.
That's it?
So yeah, he's, I guess,
in my mind, I always imagine him at least at the belly, Godzilla's belly in my mind,
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it depends on which, scale you're going with, because both of them have been different sizes throughout their careers.
right.
But in terms of the latest one, King Kong was about, I guess, 3 or 4 stories tall. That's a good estimate, you think?
Something like that. I mean, he's able to hold a person in his hand. And they don't look too small in his hand, unlike Godzilla, who I couldn't picture him, regardless of his size, holding a person in his hand.
Yeah, Godzilla is like,
I'm
taller
thinking
than
about
the Golden Gate
Kong
Bridge.
on the building too, Godzilla could never climb a building.
No.
Yeah, so the entire
He's the
movie would
size
be
of a
just
building.
Godzilla trying to swipe. Come down! I guess he'd do his atomic breath or something. That would motivate him to get down. But yeah, I guess it would definitely be much more of a challenge for King Kong, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just, thinking off the top of my head, him like King Kong would be like the fast one, but Godzilla would be really slow. So King Kong would be climbing up the buildings and jumping on Godzilla's back or something. Who knows what Gypsy Danger would be doing during the entire fight?
Slashing at his knees with his sword.
Yeah. Or that big, like, arm cannon thing.
There you go. Hit him in the knees.
Yeah. Yeah, he
ankles,
go
say.
for the kneecaps. But, continuing with the comments, Lego Master Cole just keeps on packing them away. In one movie, Godzilla was the same size as, in the next comment, it says, okay, this is really awkward how I'm phrasing this, but in one movie, Godzilla was the same size as Godzilla and whooped his butt. Yes, that happened. And then the next comment says, meant the same size as King Kong. So he meant to say. So, yeah, because the smaller Muto was about King Kong. I mean, a bit taller than King Kong, I think, but kind of in a similar King Kong size range. Of course, the Muto could fly. And King Kong doesn't have that ability. So, and there was a larger one, too. So, yeah, King Kong is pretty much outclassed in every way by Godzilla in terms of strength. But, if they could just, have, like, King Kong mutate to Godzilla size or something.
Yeah, they did before, back in the day, so...
You could say, King Kong clearly isn't the only Kong. He's got maybe like a whole tribe.
Big Mama Kong.
But then you're getting into like, Planet of the Apes and.
Yeah, now that'd be a crossover. Planet of the Apes meets Godzilla.
Yeah.
I'm talking like classic Planet of the Apes too, not even like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, but like classic like ape makeup.
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. So, Lego Master Cole, once again, comments. King Kong beat Zilla in a movie, so maybe a rematch is in order. I'm guessing, whoa, there's two Tonys.
I know, I just went out for some reason, and I just saw that there's two of me up here for some strange reason.
Well, twice the Tony to love, I guess.
It just went out on me, and then I was like, okay. And now I see that there are two of me. That is pretty
interesting.
Anyways, I hope I didn't miss much.
Yeah, you didn't really miss.
Okay.
It's just me going off on a tangent, really. Well, I guess you weren't here to hear this, but Lego Master Cole commented that King Kong beat Zilla in a movie, so maybe a rematch is in order.
There you go. They did. I mean, they did go at it a while back.
Yeah, it was in the 60s, right? It was
a long time ago.
one of the Toho Godzillas.
Yeah.
Who knows? When he said Zilla there, for a second I thought he meant the 1998 Godzilla, because that's commonly referred to as Zilla now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't refer to it as anything.
Yeah. Well, the whole Zilla thing is actually kind of like a derogatory thing by like the Japanese part, because they're not even saying that is Godzilla. It's something,
I gotcha. Yeah.
Like, that's not even Godzilla. It's just Zilla. It's funny too, because leading up to. Go ahead, Steve.
It's just Ferris Bueller. That's all.
Ferris Bueller with a giant dinosaur. Yeah. Leading up into the release of the new Godzilla movie, I actually kind of like, got into like researching Godzilla so that I could be familiar with the characters and stuff. And it was actually funny because in one of the latest Japanese-made Godzilla movies, the 1998 Matthew Broderick Godzilla shows up, and then he's instantly killed by the Japanese Godzilla.
That's awesome.
And not even like a graceful death. He gets like tail swiped into like the Sydney Opera House, and then Godzilla just atomic breaths him to death.
That's cool.
It's pretty hilarious. It's like you can look it up. It's like it's 30
Yeah.
seconds. That's as long. That's how long it takes the proper Godzilla to kill
The whack Godzilla. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Caleb comments 1998 one. I called giant ripoff lizard. It's true. He didn't even he didn't look like Godzilla. He didn't sound like Godzilla. He didn't even have
Caleb, you should have joined us, man. You're still up.
Yeah, so I thought you were going to sleep in like the first 10 minutes. So.
Right?
You should have just
Now
joined
he's
us,
like,
Caleb.
I'll be here till Wednesday.
Let's see, do I have any more articles left?
Yeah, I gotta get going soon, guys, myself.
Yeah, that was all the news stories that I had pulled up. So unless Caleb has a quick topic for us to tackle, or one of you guys remembered something,
No,
I think we're going to draw it to a close here very soon. Type away, Caleb. I feel like this is going to be like an obvious question, but are any of you guys here gamers?
Not as much as I used to be.
I am, but kind of with Steve recently, I just haven't been able to play as much as I want.
Yeah. Well.
So, like, I haven't got any of the new generation Xbox One or anything like that. I do eventually. It's just I haven't really had the time to play as much as I want to.
Yeah. Because I was just going to say that this next week, a game that I'm very excited to play is coming out. It's Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah.
Which is,
the trailer.
Yeah. It's
It does look pretty good.
Yeah. It looks like Lord of the Rings Middle Earth meets Batman Arkham City with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does look pretty good. And then I've been hearing a lot of good things about Destiny, and it seems like a lot of the community is really into that game too. And I heard something about that you actually have like powers that are similar to Force powers or something like that. You get to create your own like warrior. So I mean, I just been hearing a lot of good things about that game, but I think it was only released for the new generation console. So
I think is it only for Xbox, right? The Xbone.
I think it's on PS4.
No idea.
I actually played, with regards to Destiny, I actually played the alpha of the game. I got invited to the closed alpha of it. And, yeah, I mean, have you guys played any of the Halo games?
Yes.
Yeah, one and two, yeah.
Yeah, it plays exactly like, Halo. The gunplay, it feels exactly like that. And I think it's been a bit overhyped. I mean, they're like, for $60, I've heard that there's only 8 hours of story, which is very small considering like what other $60 games give you. And that, it gets really boring with repetitive tasks over time. But, the gameplay itself is...
I'm sure a lot of people buying it for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I always appreciate a good, lengthy story mode, first and foremost.
Well, actually, the story mode and the online are, like, interwoven. Because they happen in, like, the same, what am I saying? There is, like, no separate story mode and multiplayer mode. They're kind of together. And then there's competitive multiplayer as well, which hasn't gotten as much attention, I think, in terms of press. But that's there as well. But it's pretty much, it's like a Halo meets World of Warcraft kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Open-ended game.
So, we actually gotten quite a few comments in the time that I've asked my question. Let's see, Caleb asks, Caleb says that he cannot join us because he has got some family in the house that's asleep, so he can't be loud or anything. So that's understandable. We've had that in the past where people can't join because other people in the house are obviously.
Yep.
And he says, "Who is not a gamer?" And Mad Woba says that he has a PS3. NG Chris has a PS3. Caleb says that he's a bit of a console gamer, but mostly just does PC these days.
Yeah, I have the PS3 and the Xbox, but if I do get any chance to play it anytime, it's usually just online, like Street Fighter 4 or some fighting game, something that's just quick and easy, come in, come out, kind of thing. Like I bought Origins last year, Arkham Origins, and I have yet to finish it. And I bought it last year on Black Friday. You know, I mean, and that's.
I'm with you. I have yet to finish City.
Wow.
Like it took me like a year to finish City because I just.
Yeah.
It's just with work and a daughter, and you know, it's just so hard to find that time. Yeah, you know, it's just hard to find that time to sit down and actually play a single player game. You know, unless I can save every 5 minutes or something.
Right.
You know, I'm like, damn, when am I going to be able to save this game? So I usually just do some quick online play because it's kind of, you know, it's going to last like, yeah, there you go. Play some Street Fighter. I'm looking at 3 minutes. And I can stop when I want to. I don't have to wait for that save point. And you know, I love the Batman games. I know Origins isn't the best, but I just don't have the time. Like I used to love RPG games back in the day. You know, some Final Fantasy, those kinds of games. I could really get into those, but just no time. No time.
Yeah, I think video games are definitely, you know, they're a big time commitment.
Yeah, they are.
Time-consuming hobby.
Yeah.
You know, it's. What do you say, Tony?
I was just gonna say, especially when you want to get like, you know, with Arkham City or games like that, where you really want that 100% completion. You want to find all the secrets and get all the levels. Like I remember Red Dead Redemption when I played that. I really wanted 100%, but that was before my daughter was born. You know, I had the time. I could stay up till like 2 or 3 in the morning playing that game, but not so much anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, in terms of gaming, you know, like a Call of Duty, which like the story mode's like 5 hours at most to play, you know, that's kind of like, you know, looked down on like, oh, that's such a quick, you know, experience. But, you know, 5 hours, it's 5 hours. What can you say, you know? I mean, sometimes it's really difficult to find, you know, 5 consecutive hours to just devote to playing a game. So,
Yep.
Caleb has commented that the multiplayer of Destiny he heard is like Borderlands. Personally, I've actually never played a Borderlands game. I played a little bit of the first one, but that's it. Mad Woba comments that he picked up The Last of Us the other day, and that game is the crown jewel of the PS3. I've heard really similar things about that. I personally am holding out to get the PS4 version of it because I have a PS4, so why not? So I'm going to wait till that decreases in price a bit, maybe around Black Friday. Pick it up then.
I'll be interested in seeing whenever the next Fallout comes out.
Oh, definitely. Can't come soon enough.
Yeah, I'll be happy about it when that comes out. Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to become a gamer then.
I bought Fallout 3 and I never got to play it. It's still sitting there.
Oh, man.
You know, I have no time, so it's just...
It's one of my favorite games, to be honest.
Yeah. I've heard good things. That's why I picked it up, but I know you got to really invest the time to play it.
Oh, yeah.
And particularly, you know, if you get, like, the downloadable expansions to it, it adds, like, at least another 20 hours to the game.
Yeah.
It's just a great atmosphere. I think that's what I really like most about video games is, you know, the ability just to immerse yourself in this world and atmosphere. So,
yep. Yeah, it happens really effortlessly with some games. It's nice when that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Fallout's a prime example of that. You know, putting on the Galaxy News radio and listening to Three Dog playing some tunes in the wasteland. I don't want to set the world on fire. Gonna make me bust out the song. You
Oh goodness.
Yeah. I just want to start a flame in your heart. I've got like that. I've got it memorized now because there's only like 10 songs in the game. But if you're playing it for 100 hours, you've heard that song, 1,000 times.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I gotta get going. I'm gonna have to cut
All right.
out right
I
Yeah.
think we're gonna just end the show.
now. Oh, okay.
I mean, Steve. I mean, you want to keep on going here?
No, this is a good time to end it too for me. Yeah.
I mean, I've just kind of run out of topics to discuss. So, unless people keep on bringing up topics.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I would love to talk for her. My little one's going to sleep, and she sleeps beneath the room I'm in right now, so she's gonna hear me all night.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
good night to you, Tony.
All right, you guys, take it easy.
May the force be with you.
All right,
See you later,
bye-bye.
man.
All right,
Bye.
take it easy, guys.
So, Tony has left us. So, we'll give the guys in the comments section time to say bye, I guess.
What do you prefer playing a game like Fallout on the console or the computer?
Well, I mean, personally, I've never really had a good gaming computer.
Yeah.
Right now, I have a pretty decent laptop, and I can actually run Skyrim on like medium-high settings, which is as good, if not better, than consoles.
Yep.
So, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. There's just something about playing on console that I just really love. Maybe it's just I don't know, plugging it in and the controller or something, and it's just something about it. Maybe it's the the networking thing, like PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, where it feels like a community and stuff. But I really enjoy PC games as well. I particularly play strategy games, PC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm
I'm particular with what I like to play on what. Like for console, I like to play like your Batman games, your new Spider-Man games, any racing game, any fighting game. But when it comes to first-person shooters, I love the keyboard and the mouse, and I think it's just because I've been so bad in comparison with the controller, with my aim, that it's just such a tough time. Like I'm handicapping myself if I try to play an FPS on console. So
yeah, definitely certain game types lend themselves to certain control schemes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess over the years I've just gotten so used to it. I'm not too terrible at a shooter on a console. Like, I mean, personally, my favorite game that I've played so far this year, it was this game, which I've already mentioned in a video I made, was Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Oh yeah.
Really love this. Again, atmosphere and tone. It's just really cool. Like, what if the Nazis won World War II?
Yeah.
But it's just like it's like a sci-fi version of Inglourious Bastards almost. It's just ultra violent, gory. Shooting Nazis. It's fantastic.
That sounds awesome.
So, and I wasn't too bad at that. But in terms of competitive online shooters, I really suck at them.
Yeah.
There's just people who just devote so much time to getting perfect at like Call of Duty and stuff that it's just there's no comparison to how good they are. You'll never be as good as they are. Really.
I can say that I was in one game one of those people, and back when Aliens vs Predator 2 was new on the computer, it's long after it was released, it stayed on multiplayer and just really built up this cult following of a good. It would be hard to guess how many of us were still playing, but it wasn't many, in the grand scheme of the world. But you had your clans, and it was just one of these games where I got really good, and good to the point where it became an everyday thing that the second I got any headshots off with a pistol, which was tough to do, they would call me a hacker and kick me out. because they could just do what they wanted, and that was a pain in the ass sometimes. But that was a big problem, was the real hackers and not being able to kick them out at the time. There wasn't any like administrators watching it. It was all up to the fans at this point, and
Yeah.
anyone could hack anything. So, and then eventually they shut down the servers. But I got so good at that game. I don't know if I'll ever get that good at a game again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think everybody has that one game where they just got really great at it. Personally, for me, it was a game that I really love most of all the Tom Clancy games that have been made,
Oh
and
yeah.
in particular, Rainbow Six Vegas 2,
Oh
which
yeah.
was a tactical FPS where you could die really quickly, really easily because it's realism.
Oh yeah. I played
And
since the very first one. So
yeah,
yeah, one shot. Unless you get like your ear nicked, which could happen, you wouldn't see it, but
yeah.
you know, you're pretty much dead one shot. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so it's it doesn't really lend itself to a lot of the common hacks of online first-person shooters like Call of Duty, no scoping, and
Yeah.
doing jump dives or whatever. And
Mhm.
so you have to be really tactical about it, use cover wisely,
Yeah.
grenades and rappelling through windows and stuff. It was really fantastic. I played the heck out of that, and it takes forever to level up in that game as well. And
Oh yeah.
the fact that I got to a pretty high, decent level, I think is a testament to how much I played it. So,
Right.
yeah, I just really love Vegas 2. First, I don't even know if people still play it on the PS3, because that's what I played it on.
Yeah.
But I got really good at it. And the AVP games, well, I really enjoy those. You mentioned
Yeah.
it.
I remember when Rainbow Six, the first one, first came out, and my computer at the time couldn't play it, and I was so disappointed and so young. So my dad just sent the computer out, like, fix this so my son can play this game, and they sent it back, and I had a blast with it.
Awesome. Yeah, great games. Tom Clancy. Even though he has nothing to do with actual making the games, Tom Clancy.
Yeah. I've never read one of his books, but
Yeah, I read one of his books.
Hmm.
That because a lot of people, it's like one of those authors where people use the Tom Clancy name, but it's kind of
Yeah.
ghost written by somebody else. So
Yeah.
I read
Right.
one of the books he actually wrote.
Mm.
It was good, I mean, it's really tactical SWAT stuff.
Yeah.
It's like reading the game, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But I really got into also, while we're talking about Tom Clancy, the Splinter Cell series.
Oh yeah.
Really love those.
Yeah.
I played it all because I was just so disappointed that Michael Ironside, the voice of Sam Fisher, such an iconic voice. For those of you guys who are watching might be familiar with him as the voice of Darkseid from the DC animated universe. Just such a signature voice and really defined the character. But he wasn't brought back for the latest one because they want somebody who could do the voice and motion capture.
Ugh.
So yeah, that kind of took all the wind out of the sails for the series from me. So,
Yeah.
but
Right.
I beat all of them up to Conviction. Love the heck out of them. Really fun to play.
Yeah.
Chaos Theory was my favorite. Anybody familiar with the games out there? But let's see. In terms of comments, we've got tons of comments. We've got more comments while talking about video games than any of the other. Let's see. Let's see. NG Chris says, try the God of War series. They are cool. I agree. Very cool games.
I played 1 and 2.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny because I've got the remastered collection of it that came out for PS3.
Yeah.
It's the first two games, and I never could get past the first boss in God of War 1. To my shame, I could never beat the Sea Serpent. But the funny thing is that before I even played God of War 1,
Yeah.
I played and beat God of War 3.
Oh. That's funny.
So it's just, what is this about this one freaking sea serpent mod that I just cannot get? I could freaking kill Zeus in God of War 3, but I can't kill a freaking sea serpent.
That's funny.
Yeah. It's a series I need to go back and play again sometime.
Yeah,
It's
me
been
too.
ages since I played it. Like
Same.
2011, something. 2010, probably.
Yeah, might be longer even for me, but yeah.
And also, again, I know the series is ultra violent, and ultra graphic. You know what I mean? Get it on. The mini games that are in the God of War series.
Yep.
But Lego Master Pro also says he plays TF2 online and he sucks at it, but it's still pretty fun.
Yeah, I watched some of his videos playing. I find much joy in those videos because I don't know. I did actually used to play Team Fortress 1 for a while, but I don't know. Just lately,
You played Team Fortress before it was cool.
yeah, right. Before it was barely a game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just got burnt out on the whole multiplayer gaming thing, and really all I've been doing is me and my bud. We still have a grand old time playing. We play GTA 5, but you know we just run around, screw around in the city, jump
I love
in,
Rockstar games.
jump into traffic. You know, do
Yeah.
a somersault off the bridge, try to land on top of a moving car, and then when glitches happen, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
And well, that's a good time. And I'm playing through Spider-Man 2, which, um, you know, because of everything that has going on in it, you might argue is better than the movie.
that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Just like an argument could be made that the Batman Arkham games are arguably better than any of the Batman movies.
I think they're better than some.
Yeah. We already discussed our...
Yeah, I
Batman
know where we
movies.
stand.
Yeah. Yeah. I've tried, personally going back to his comment, I've tried playing TF2, but like I said, I just can't really get into online shooters. I just lose my interest. You know, it's just playing again and again on the same maps.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so many ways that you can play this one small like mile by mile in-game section. You know, it's just there's only so many routes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so. And Caleb also comments, in the end, nothing beats couch multiplayer. True. It's been a while since I've done couch multiplayer, to be honest. We do that sometimes. Like, I remember, and this is actually, it was a couple of months ago now, but I had some friends over, and I dusted off the old Wii, and we played some Super Smash Brothers for all.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. Something about Super Smash Bros. Just a really fun party game.
It's a great pick it up and play fighting game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of fighting games are meant to be played with like people sitting with you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like it's actually. I was at one of my relatives' house playing with my cousin, and we were playing Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Yeah.
And in like that 2 to 3 hours of playing with him, I had more fun than the previous 15 hours I played by myself.
Right.
So it's just I guess it's the taunting each other, see who can one up each other and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's much more entertaining than just. I mean, what do you do when you sit by yourself? We talk to ourselves, sure, but not when you're sitting there playing a video game. You're just sitting there.
Yeah.
So.
And particularly it's funny with Injustice that there's the one stage that you can play at Arkham Asylum in the kitchen where there's this like slab of meat, So
Yeah.
you just slide along this rail and it can hit the other person. It actually does damage.
Nice.
It's like throwing this like slab of pork or something at each other.
Nice.
Yeah, that's #1 winning strategy right there.
Yeah.
Caleb
Yeah.
asked, "Oh, go ahead, Steve."
I was gonna say if I had a gaming controller, USB controller, actually I would have bought that game. It was for $5 on Steam. That and the newest Mortal Kombat were both $5. But again, I can't play fighting games on the computer. I need a
Yeah,
controller.
that's been,
Yeah.
yeah. I imagine it's quite a popular.
Yeah, it's just not right.
Yeah, especially the combos. How would that work?
Yeah.
You shift WASD all at the same time. Yeah,
Whoops, restarted the computer.
yeah. It's like, why does combo have to use the power button?
Yeah, right.
Lego Master Cole asked if we're excited for the new Smash Bros.
Well, I haven't owned a Wii in a long time, and when I did, I didn't own the games myself. But you know, I suppose if I had someone who was going to buy it, I would love to go to their house and play it. But otherwise, I probably won't see much of it. Otherwise, just in videos.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like, personally, I don't own a Wii U, so that's the biggest snag. So, in addition to paying the like $40–50 that the game would cost, I'd have to pay $300 to get the Wii U.
Yeah.
So, and personally, yeah, unless I'm like constantly having people over to play it, which I guess that'd be fun, but it's just not practical because nobody has that much time to come over.
Yeah.
It's just it wouldn't really be worth it for me. It wouldn't really get into a fighting game by myself. That's really the only time I play fighting games is when somebody's over.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, going back to what you said, the Alien versus Predator games. I really enjoy those. In particular, I played a decent amount of when I got AVP Classic on Steam. I played that. I played the multiplayer of that for a bit and really enjoyed it. It had a horde mode almost where you fight a bunch of aliens. Of course, as a predator.
Yeah.
And somehow, because AVP 2, nowadays is impossible to actually get. Not on Steam.
Right.
All the CD versions are made for Windows 98.
Yeah.
So trying to get them to work on a modern computer is crazy. It's really the only way you can do it is to pirate it.
Right.
Which I won't say that I did it or not.
Gotcha.
But I could never get it to work.
Yeah.
On my computer until one day it just miraculously worked. On my computer, AVP2 did.
Wow.
And so I played a bit of the Alien and Predator campaigns, and I really liked it. I mean, it's even better than AVP1, and certainly better than AVP 2010.
Oh God, yeah.
But then of course my old laptop completely died, so I haven't wanted to try and see if I can get AVP2 to work on my new laptop.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. They need to release that on Steam because I would buy that day one, full price, if I could get AVP2 on Steam.
It was such a good game. I remember playing the human story mode for the first time. I was scared out of my boots.
Yeah.
It was just so fun.
Yeah. Especially because I think I played the opening stage of the human campaign. It's it feels a lot like the opening of Aliens, the movie, where you're the Marines and you're arriving at this planet and there's no activity, but then you start noticing strange things, particularly this one segment. It's when you come out, it's you're in this dark room and then the lights pop on and then you see the skinned bodies of the predators obviously killed, and then when you leave, like from the top of like this distant mountain peak, you vaguely see an outline, and then the plasma caster fires and like blows up the tank vehicle that you were in.
Yep.
And then like you hear like the roar, and then like this marine body just like flies off the mountain. I guess how that marine got up there, nobody knows. But
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's just really, really awesome. So,
Yep.
Really
Yep.
enjoyed that.
It's just so weird they couldn't, do it again and make it as good. They've just been failing. I didn't play much. I mean, not that um, the Aliens Marines game didn't have Predators or anything in it, but I didn't play much of that. But I don't think that was too well received either.
Oh yeah, that's actually kind of notoriously badly received in terms of
Oh, jeez.
like lots of bugs and stuff. The
Yeah.
graphics looked awful, and especially the biggest controversy was that like the difference comparing the demo that was shown at E3 versus the actual game final product. It got worse since the demo.
God.
It's just like, what did they do to make it just like, uh,
Yeah.
speaking of Alien, there's actually a new Alien game coming out in a couple weeks called Alien Isolation, but it's not
Yeah.
inspired by aliens. You're not a colonial marine, going pulse rifle,
Mhm.
but you're Ellen Ripley's daughter or granddaughter, I think it's daughter,
Hmm.
and you're like investigating like your mother's disappearance, and then like it's pretty much the setup. It's kind of like the scenario from Alien where you're just one person trying to just escape.
Yeah.
So you're not really shooting anything. You're just trying to avoid the alien.
Mhm.
It's only one alien in the game, and it can kill you like instantly.
Well,
Yeah.
those kinds of games really work. This one really good game called Amnesia. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
After,
Um, yeah, no weapons, nothing but a lantern, and your option to hide or run. And
yeah,
otherwise, the monster will get you, and that really puts you into the game.
yeah. Yeah, pretty much Alien Isolation will be doing largely the same thing except data.
That'd be great. That'd
Yeah,
be right up my alley for sure. Yeah.
yeah. It's I think it's October 7th when it comes out, which is
Nice.
pretty soon. But I'm not going to be getting it at release because I'm spending my money on Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor.
Yep.
Personally, I think I just get too scared playing the game. I'm kidding. I'll get it eventually, maybe Christmas time. It'll be wrapped
Yep.
up and all nice underneath
Right.
the tree. But,
Yeah.
and it's being developed by Creative Assembly, which develops one of my favorite PC franchises to play, which is the Total War strategy game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So it's kind of a weird departure for them to go from the
Yeah.
strategy game to like commanding this huge army, in historical settings like ancient Rome, to like doing this first-person survival horror game, science fiction.
Yeah. Right.
That's kind of a big jump. I mean,
It's a huge jump, but maybe that's yeah, it's probably where mentally they've been, and they thought that we could do it well.
yeah,
So,
I mean certainly,
hopefully.
and hopefully they've learned from the lesson of colonial marines, where just don't f it up. Pretty much,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
don't make the fans angry.
I
Like
know. It's so easy to please us. I don't know why they get it wrong.
yeah, fans were so receptive of everything. Just look at how we've been talking about Rebels earlier in the show.
I'm sure they would really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Well,
we haven't really been getting any new comments. We'll start drawing it to a close. That is okay.
sure.
Personally, I'm getting a little bit tired. It's only 9 o'clock. How sad is that? I'm on school time, and it's a Saturday.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. So, if you guys are watching at home, say hey in the comments before we leave. I've actually noticed that, like what you and Tony were saying earlier, that, as you've kind of gotten older, you've been playing games less and less,
Mm.
because you've been busy and stuff. But also, I've just noticed that obviously, I'm not, I'm not out of college with a job and family, but
Yeah.
just I've become more selective in my tastes with gaming.
Yep.
I mean, there was like a time like when I got my PS3 in like 2009, like 2012, I'd say, or 2000.
Mm.
Like that period of time, I was just like super gamer mode. I was
Yeah.
just like anything that I remotely liked, I would get my hands on it and play the heck out of it. But
Yep.
like in the past couple of years, I've just got I've just become less interested. Maybe it's just because I've just gotten tired of just another modern military first-person shooter. So
Yeah.
I don't play Call of Duty anymore. You
Mm.
know, I don't know. I've just gotten more selective about it. But there's certainly still some franchises that I'll play anything about.
Right.
Anything Rockstar makes, I'll play.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, everything Bethesda makes, I'll play.
Yep. Yep. Me too.
And Batman, of course. And
Yeah.
I used to be like any Assassin's Creed I play, but I'm kind of getting a bit of wary. I'm kind of getting wary of the franchise.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah. You start to get jaded, once it's been
Yeah,
done so many times. Uh, Even if it's still being done good, you kind of feel like you can get away from it, still be
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But it does look like for the latest Assassin's Creed Unity, they're actually doing something interesting, which is they're releasing two different Assassin's Creed games this year. There's one that's going to be on last gen, PS3 and Xbox 360,
Yeah.
and I forget the name of that. But then there's going to be the next gen one, which is Unity, which obviously is going to be on PC,
Mm.
PS4, Xbox One. But Unity actually does look like it could be pretty good and actually add some new innovations to the franchise. But I'll wait until I see the reviews.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Mm.
anyway, that's all I have to say. So like I'm kind of droning off here near the end. Yeah, so NG Chris says for us to have a nice weekend, so thank you, Chris. You
Thanks,
too, man.
Chris.
Lego Master Cole. Caleb says, hey, have a good one. You too, Caleb.
See you
Hopefully we'll
later,
get
Caleb.
you on a new, hopefully we'll get you on a live show in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, try and do, because this one was more of a later, I guess more of our normal time, being,
Yeah.
a more West Coast time.
Yeah.
But, I'll definitely try and do a, more like a 5 o'clock show that's more friendly for my East Coast buddies.
Yeah.
At
Either
least the
way.
East Coast buddies that have a bed time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Some people are a bit indiscriminate. Anyway, so we're going to end the broadcast here. So
Okie doke.
thank you guys for tuning in. You want to say a little sign off?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. As usual, it was fun, and hopefully I'll be in the next one. And, yeah, appreciate people like I noticed NG Chris, he does leave comments, on my videos. I appreciate that. And, yeah, check out the Flyboy review on my channel, Rabidhammer.
Will do. Yeah, and yeah, definitely really appreciate it to all you guys watching. Those of you guys that stuck with us from the beginning of the show or popped in somewhere. It really does mean a lot that people actually want to watch us just discuss random stuff.
Yeah.
People do care to watch that. So
Yeah.
we certainly really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching the show as always. I know that this is just a personal note to end it here, but on my channel that I haven't really been uploading any non-live show videos
Mm.
as of late. I've just been really busy with school and stuff. Senior year.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm going to try and get a pretty big video filmed and recorded. I'm not going to say what that video is going to be just yet,
Yeah.
in case it takes me a bit longer to make the stuff.
Mm.
But I'm going to try and do that. And of course, these live shows are really helpful keeping me going. Keeping me
Yeah.
in touch
Yeah.
with everybody. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching as always. Joker Fett, signing out.